Okay, so hello everyone. This is the longest gap that I kind of took after before recording any video, and this is kind of altogether a different video. This is kind of a development sort of video, and I kind of investing my time right now in this domain. So I will try to post some videos casually, like whatever I'm doing, or if I find something that is good enough to be posted. And most of the projects or the development projects that you will see here will be open source, and basic purpose of this video to get some reach in my projects, and by that we all of us can find something relevant for all of us. Like maybe somebody can find a good project to contribute on, or I can get good reach about showcasing my product, or if it is good enough, maybe someone can use it, or it may be helpful for someone if somebody is making something similar, or the possibilities are quite many. So I'm not kind of worried about that. I would like to talk about this project which I was working on recently. It is nothing but a rich text editor. I was kind of this is kind of a part of a video that I will try to make a second part of. That part would include the the thing about blogs, and in general how to kind of self-host your blogs. If you have a domain, then you can self-host your blogs just using Vercel's free tier is quite generous in my opinion. So I would say that free tier would be quite good enough for your initial traffic. And if you want to learn about SEO and all of those things, so you can kind of experiment on those things. You can just buy a cheap domain for yourself, and then you can experiment by that just using Markdown, and you don't have to know too much of you don't have to worry about too much CSS and too much performance and all of those things, I think. And it is a middle ground. It's not too flashy once you set it up, and it's not too abstract like WordPress or something like that, but yeah, it's in the middle ground. If you want to try out in development, and as well as you want your own blog or a website that is powered by Markdown content, so I think you can go ahead with that. And with that, let's talk about the problems that I had. The first problem was that I was trying to write the Markdown, and interestingly, I wasn't aware that I can export from Notion in Markdown. I was aware about the other formats such as PDFs and all. I wasn't aware about the downloads in Markdown. So I kind of went ahead to maybe thought of creating something. So another thing was that I kind of like Markdown, so I thought let's work on it. And on exploring, there were a lot of projects I came across. There were some of the projects that were too good to be used as a starting tool. Those were kind of building blocks, or the formatting blocks they kind of offer you. If you want to use the block, for example, say the that highlighting tool or something like that. So they kind of offer those kind of a set of bundle of tools: italicizing, underlining, formatting, and all of those things. So you have to use them in a component manner and kind of configure it to make a full-fledged editor. So that was kind of overwhelming for me, and I wanted something similar and Notion-like. So I came across that project by I think Stephen Tay. I think most of the developer community mostly know him. So novel.sh, and it was the project. I think let me just open it here. I came across this project, and it was not too suitable for my need, but I was aiming to make something similar, and I think it's quite good actually. So maybe you can also configure this and use this one also, but I was looking for a little bit. I could not, basically, to be very honest, I wasn't able to figure out how to use it, and yeah. So I think Novel is also based on the same thing that I'm using, or maybe not, but I'm not aware about that. I'm not sure, but the styling or the working looks quite similar So maybe they have copied it, or like this is the copy, or they have copied it. So either way, both the project structure is quite similar. So I came across this BlockNote Node.js.org, and this was the tool that kind of, you know, they have kind of created as an open source project, and they have a licensing for commercial users and large scale users, but I think it was pretty good for me to start with. And there were some limitations to the novel, that like I can how to export those and all of those things, so I wasn't sure how to figure out. So in this like the BlockNote, they have a standard, they offer the standard methods to kind of export to HTML or Markdown. So I was looking for something like that, and finally this was the one on which I settled on. So I used this to build the project, and if anybody is like, I will put the link in the description, and if anybody wants to check it out, then they surely can. So the link is like I named it a very generic name like Notedown. So currently it is also deployed, so we will talk about the deployed version. And another thing I wanted to create is kind of, this should be self-hostable, and I was kind of inspired by Excalibraw's simplicity, but I cannot create that like, you know, free like open to all kind of version, because of like I don't have like cloud resources. So otherwise we can do that also, but it is entirely possible. If you want to contribute to that, you can do that, or you may want to create your own. It's pretty simple. This is the initial starting point. So there was another drawback of BlockNote, that they don't offer a lot of blocks, like, but there is one speciality about them, is that they kind of offer custom blocking system. Like you can create here, blocks means like the various tools like checkboxes, checklists, or like ordered list, unordered lists, and heading H1, H2, H3. I think you understand those things. So these are the things that is available, like headings and all of those things are available, but there wasn't any code block available. So I created that manually, and those were the pretty good parts of this project, I would say. And the rest of the things were like just putting things together. Another part that was important in my opinion was that it is like you can say that like it was not working with the initial content, that encrypted content. Basically, let me try to put down the flow for all of us, so we can work on it, or maybe just understand it. So the flow is pretty simple. The node that you create needs to be saved somewhere. So for that, I also wanted to try Supabase, and kind of it is open source and self-hostable. So, and they kind of offer the free tier to experiment. So I think that was pretty much it for me to start. So you can just like kind of, I'm just putting the nodes, whatever the nodes is with me, I'm kind of putting it to the Supabase. And whenever kind of you log in or open the node, it has to load it back, right? But now the thing is that I kind of storing it in the database itself. I have not used any blob storage, like I have not used S3 or anything like that, or maybe Supabase storage. Technically you should be using that, and if your target is like a very heavy node centric app, then you should be targeting on those things. For example, storing it as a blob in cloud and then accessing it. But there are again certain configurations that you have to do, and those were the things I kind of wanted to avoid, because my usage is not pretty high, and I'm kind of trying it for myself, or it is kind of self-hostable targeted. So it's not like too rigid for me to do that. Otherwise, that would be the standard practice. So I kind of using this like, as you can see in the schema, I'm using the content as you know, as a byte array or something like that. Actually, this is specific to Postgres. This is called something else in other SQL flavors. So basically, I'm creating uint array and kind of storing it. I will show you the entire flow if we have still some time. And so this is kind of what I'm doing, and in between I'm kind of encrypting the nodes, so that, but another drawback or whatever you can say, that the keys are stored in the same table as the nodes. So if somebody can figure out that what your content array or the content bytes is and your key, then I think it's decryptable. But I think there are also some alternate approaches that you can figure out. That is quite like standard, I would say. But again, for my purpose, I think it was pretty good. So again, since it's an open source project, if you want, then you can surely contribute to that. I will come to the project demonstration after a while. And so in this step, we are kind of encrypting it using that using web crypto APIs. Right now, I think they are now widely available. Another thing I would like to add, that I kind of emphasize more on client side. I try to do most of the things on client side so that we don't have to rely on servers. So basically, I don't have any edge functions or any dependency on those kind of things in this project. So that was my target. So kind of encrypting it using the web crypto API, and then storing it here. And in the process, just after getting the content, again it was a very challenging steps. It took almost like half of the time of the project, like how to like it took a significant amount of time. Like the way Postgres stores the data is in, I think, hexadecimal, and your usage is something different. So even though you have stored something else, like you may be storing something else. For example, I used to put I still used to put like a 0 as the initial content. For example, when you create a new node, so I kind of put it as a 0 in the database. But when you try to access from the tables, you will see some 125, 127 sort of values in the, like 4 values, if I can remember, something and something. So the 4 values used to be there, and you have to get it back in this form. So that was a little bit challenging. So actually, what it does is kind of, this is storing something like this, something like this, I guess. I think it is like this. Maybe it has to do something with this ASCII value, this 125, or this ASCII value, and this, and like that. I think it used to work like that, and I'm not precisely sure because I kind of forgot. I have to look it back about it. So this is how it used to store. So you have to decrypt it back in the format of this original 0, so that you can tell that this is the kind of initial stage, and the project, the nodes doesn't have, this particular node doesn't have any content. So that was another challenge. Another thing I faced is that RLS, you have to be a lot specific or explicit about RLS. Like you have to define all the policies that you're going to use, or like whatever the operations that you want to perform. So you have to put all of them in the RLS. So because of that, I was also like facing a lot of challenges in that domain. But yeah, it was a pretty good learning experience for this project. It's a pretty simple project, I would say, after doing it, but it's a good one to do. And another thing, anything else that needs to be discussed here? I think I have explained all of the flows, and for the authorization, or I have kept it pretty simple, like this email and password mechanism. Again, it's Supabase, so you can add other providers if you want to self-host and use those kinds of things. So I think it's also doable. So I kind of, for my purpose, I think it was pretty good enough for me. And that's pretty much it. So let's try to go with a demo of the project. Maybe let me just. Okay, so this is the this is the moment of truth, and this is the home page for which I settled on. Like it was created, like this portion was AI generated using something like maybe V0 or something from Vercel, and this is the section that I kind of designed. It's not super fancy, and again, this is already mentioned here, so nobody will poke me. And so it's the dark mode, light mode, it works. The sidebar component was pretty good, and it took a lot of efforts to do this, and now it is fairly stable and fairly usable. And from here you can go to my project, GitHub. You can raise issues also if you're planning to use it, so maybe somebody else can contribute, or maybe if I have some time. So I'm kind of logging in. Anybody wants to try, you can use this email right now, and the password will be test@123. For the testing purposes, I will later on remove it from the list. Okay, but now you can use it. Okay, there isn't any email that exists. I have a kind of added in the database. Okay, so it's not a real email. So let me just expand it. So this is how your notes are, and like, let me just switch it back to the home page. And so this is the, like, after logging in, you can these are pretty standard stuff. And when you create a new new note, so it will create a new note. I don't know why it's pretty slow. Maybe it has to do with the free tier, or maybe it has to do with something else, I don't know. Or maybe I have to handle it more generously, like there should be a loading state or something. But as I said, this kind of serves the purpose for now. This is the default image. This is from Unsplash. I have just put it here for showpiece. You can customize it. You can put any URL to embed it. Again, see, there are other scopes here, like you can set up with S3 or something like that, so that can store your images directly. You can upload here, but I'm not going to do that. Okay. And there is one download section that there is a little bit inconsistency in here in the opacity, so I have to adjust it maybe. But let's see, what I'm trying to say is, okay, I'm just trying to switch into the new node. Okay, this was the new node. This was the node. Okay, another thing is that these are the nodes. These are sorted according to the last modified, and I am changing the title. Notedown demo. Another thing is that I think after the save button, it doesn't save. For the saving part, I have used periodic saving through the Postgres database. If I can remember, it is taking 20 minutes. 20 seconds for the next save. Like it will automatically save. Otherwise, you can just press Ctrl S and it will immediately save it right away. So it suppose the heading. Let me just put it this way. And this is also, these are some of the custom blocks that I made. This is the code block that I made, and this is the line. This is pretty simple, but still it was done. This is the code block, and in the markdown export, it has to do a lot of heavy lifting. Like I have to figure out a lot of things, and but Claude was pretty helpful, like Anthropic's chat GPT kind of thing. So it was pretty helpful in these situations. This line break is pretty simple. Another thing is that one issue I can say is that this code block, when I'm downloading the PDF version, it is kind of not rendering it properly. So maybe if somebody wants to work on that, so can work on it. So this is another thing, is that why it's not going into the focus. Initially it used to go to the focus. So maybe just let's try to add some code from here only. Okay, I will try to add some code from my, so let me just try to copy it. So this is TypeScript, and I have kept the syntax highlighting to the minimal because of that, rendering and all of these things. So this is the code, and let me just try to switch it to the light mode, and if I can, it won't make much difference, but yeah, it is good enough. It is still better than plain text and all of those things. So, and let me just put a line in here. So it supports that H1, H2, H3, and this code block that I kind of created, and those were the things that were missing, and this line also. And another anything else? Yeah, this. So this is pretty good, I think, and you can download it for the PDF. I don't want it to be relied on server side. So because I'm kind of using the web APIs for encryption and decryption, and as of now, Next.js or Vercel rather doesn't support Node.js crypto kind of. I tried to figure out, but it was not working, and even they recommended using the web crypto API. But the thing is that they kind of works on the client side only, so my content is encrypted, so you have to decrypt it. So, and I don't want it to be have any edge functions and all of those things right now. So you can create those things technically for you, but so for the PDF part, I have just kept it like this. It just opens the print screen. So all of these H1s and all of these things are handled pretty well, but this code block is kind of right now missing as it should be working. So if somebody can send a pull request or something like that, that would be nice. But the markdown downloads work almost 98%. It's good enough. So if I can open in VS Code, so this is the markdown that is. This is kind of hard coded, so if you are self-hosting, then you can change it. Again, why I did this metadata, because of certain requirements that like I needed this kind of metadata for my blog, and I will share that in maybe the next video if I feel to make a video. Anyways, so this is kind of your okay, this is your kind of markdown thing, and it works pretty well. So another caveat is mentioned there only, you can read about it, and you can change the image also. So I think I have explained. So there are quite good functions here. I think you can use these functions in different projects also. If you are planning to use Postgres and byte array or something like that to store there, so you can use this function. This is quite a useful function, and if you directly want to store into the database, otherwise it's not that helpful. But the decrypt, all of these functions are like client side, so this is pretty good. And don't forget, like the shared CN, I think you can notice from here, many of the components are shared CN based. For example, this dialogues, all of these are shared CN dialogues, and this is the custom component. This is the sidebar is a custom component that I built, so you can, if you want, then you can use it. And that's it. That's pretty much it. This is a lot of a longer video for my channel. I think it's the longest video that I have made, but I wanted to keep it raw and simple. You can like increase the pace for watching it, and hope you liked it, and maybe catch up in the next video. Bye bye, peace.